Welcome back to another episode of Athlete POV. We're sitting down with our guy from Rutgers football, Rani. What's going on, man? First thing we want to hear from you. What is your biggest motivation, you think, to like stay motivated as an athlete going through now in your senior year?
My family, my family. That's my biggest. That's my why.
Hmm.
My mom, my dad. They're both first generation. Well, I'm a first generation American. They're both immigrants from Sudan. It's a country over in East Africa. So that's what really keeps me going. They came here and sacrificed their life to come and give me and my brothers a better life. So that's what gets me going every day, each and every day. Because
Hmm.
I try to do everything I can for them, especially my mom, man. It's the strongest woman I know.
Of course. And you mentioned your background of like being from Sudan. What does it mean to like really represent a country of like you come from a different country coming to America? What does it mean to like represent that in terms of college football now?
You know, it's different. The country of Sudan is like most popular sport there is soccer. So like to be able to play football and be different, I'm trying to represent the country in any way possible, trying to show kids of Sudanese descent or people from Sudan
Hmm.
that you go out there and play football, you can play basketball, you can play these other sports that aren't so popular over back in our home country. And I just want to be able to put on for the country and be able to go back and help people in the country as well, be able to help families, younger people, students, all kinds of resources I can.
Of course, and like being from there, was there ever any other sports that you picked up on growing up?
Soccer, man. I love playing soccer. So growing up, I didn't start playing football till I was like in eighth grade, and I
Oh
had to
wow.
like yeah, had to beg my dad, get him to get me to play for like 1 year. But growing up, play soccer. Like that's my favorite sport to this day. It's literally my
Hmm.
favorite sport.
So you would say like soccer is like one of your probably favorite sports to watch too.
Yeah, most definitely. I love watching soccer. Love watching soccer.
You got like a favorite team like right now that you watch all the time?
Um, Manchester United. I'm a big United fan. My uncle was a United fan back when Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney were there, and now Ronaldo's back. So I've been
Hmm.
a United fan.
I think I'm staying on topic of soccer here. I mean, I remember like playing the on the Wii. Like FIFA was like the game that it was like the first video game I think I ever picked up, and I remember that guy Wayne Rooney on Manchester. For some reason, he sticks in my head.
Yeah, Wayne Rooney, baby.
Yeah.
That's the guy right there.
Yeah, let's get back on track. Why do you think it's important to like you say like you're like a lot of athletes say like yeah I'm always hungry for the next step, but why do you think that's so important to like never settle for like where you really are like in your current time?
Because you never want to be complacent. If you ever got that mindset of complacency, then you just brush off that the greatness that you have waiting for you. Then it just all becomes potential. And there's nothing worse than having potential because it's all you could have did this or you could have done that.
Mm,
So, you never want to settle. You always want to be able to give it everything you got. And the moment you settle, just know there's somebody behind you that's always trying to get that spot or surpass you. So as soon as you try to take your foot off the gas for a little bit, just know you are going to get passed and it's going to be very hard for you to catch up. That's why, you know what I'm saying? You never want to rest in the middle. Always rest at the end. Life is a long journey ahead, and we got time. We're young, and a lot of people think they're missing out, especially us athletes. Like you see other people doing a lot of things, and it's like, damn, I'm missing out. Nah, we're not missing out on anything. This is God's timing. Everything will be caught up. Like we're young. Make sure you accomplish
mm.
everything you want to do, and don't sacrifice what you really want for what you want right now. And that's one of the best things I've heard. And it's really like you sacrificing what you want ultimately at the end for what you want right now because of seeing
Like
temporary
instant
satisfaction.
gratification.
Yeah,
Yeah.
instant gratifications. That's why I would say you never want to ease off. Always want to be hungry because it's gonna keep that drive, keep that fire fueling in you.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's such a big problem, I think, in society where everyone is so, so caught up in like the now and like what can I get right now and not put like any sort of effort or work into like really, see the bigger picture that they
Hmm.
really want to. But yeah, it's definitely something that not even just athletes, in real life, like what can you do like personally, like your goals, not just maybe hey I want to make it to the NFL and maybe your case, but like say hey, um, I don't know I want to build this business. How do I get there? It's bigger than just like right now. What can I do? Like have a plan for the future, and consistency plays a big part in that. Once you figure out the goal, right?
Nah, most definitely. You gotta stay consistent. Consistency is key, you know, and also being just not looking too far ahead too, though. Like you always got to be, you know, where your feet are. Always try to be where your feet are and be in the moment. Because a lot of people get caught up with looking past or beyond the future, all
Mm.
the way in the future, and think about the end result. And people forget that, you know, you got to worry about the process. You know,
Right, man.
the process,
And such
the journey is the destination.
Absolutely. And such a big part of that
Yeah.
process is like the way you develop habits along the way, like your morning routine, like what you do at night before you go to bed, like what do you do every day that's like a constant in your life, that's a healthy habit that you build up to that, can put you in a better shape to get to where you want to be. So following that, next thing I want to say, what is your morning routine like? Or do you have like certain things and like specifically in the morning that you do every day?
Yeah, most definitely. I don't even call it morning routine because routine changes. For me, this is ritual. So like my morning ritual, first thing I do is I wake up. I make my bed, obviously, just you know, so I can come back and if I did have a quote unquote bad day, I could always come back and realize that I started off the day right. So I make my bed. I wake up. I'll drink a bottle of water, and then first thing I do is I always pray. I gotta give thanks to God. I'm you know I'm Muslim, so I pray. I wake up and that's the first thing I do. I feel like if I don't pray, I just can't start off my day. Just it's a little bit iffy. Like it doesn't start off on the right track. So
Mm.
that's kind of the first thing I do is wake up in the morning, make my bed, and pray. And then from there, you get going. You go to the facility. You're depending on what kind of day it is. If it's a practice day, a lift day, then your routine and you adjust accordingly.
Right, and you mentioned something that I caught on in the beginning when you were just talking. A routine is different than a ritual, right? You said something like that. Can you explain the difference you think between those two?
A routine you can change a routine. Sometimes you can tweak it out, but a ritual you do it so many times that it's ritual now. Like a routine, sometimes you may be on and off from it, and it might be inconsistent. Sometimes, like you can slack off, but when it's ritual, you are doing it every single day. It's like religiously, you're doing it religiously. So it's just so
Hmm.
consistent that it's become engraved in your head.
It's a different way to look at it, and I can definitely say that. Hey, I've maybe tried to develop some sort of routine, but I guess and I can completely see what you're saying. How a ritual is like maybe the next step, like a different definition of the
Mhm.
word. That's definitely pretty interesting. Another aspect to look at. But now,
Right.
I see how you keep drinking some water, right? Got to stay
Yeah,
hydrated.
yeah.
That's another big thing. I
Most
mean,
definitely.
you can be as fit as possible, go to the gym every day, but without hydration and a proper nutrition, it's really nothing, right? What would you say are some of your healthiest like foods you like eat every day, and how much water do you think you drink every day too?
I water. I try to get a gallon a day. A gallon a day, which is about like 8 water bottles. So I usually carry around a gallon with me, but I definitely try to stay hydrated. It's good for you more than like just the hydration part and like the electrolytes. It's like health wise too, blood flow wise, cholesterol, just in general, water is really good for you. So
Mm.
I try to drink a gallon a day. But my foods though, oh man, healthy foods. I love salmon. Salmon is probably one of my
Okay,
go-to healthy.
that's awesome.
Um, love salmon, love chicken. I actually had cut off red meats for like a while now, for like 3 years, 4 years now. So I stopped eating red meats as a whole, and I've kind of gone more into the white meats and then the fishes. So just like chicken, turkey, and
Mm.
fish. I love all fish. Yeah.
You ever like track like your macros, protein, carbs, stuff like that?
Honestly, I'd be lying to you if I said I did. I just eye it out, man. I look at my plate. I put, I even out my plate though. I make sure I got a good amount of protein on there, got a good amount of carbs, and a good amount of greens. So I try to have a colorful plate. At the same time, I don't sit here and count my calories. I'd be lying if I told you I do.
Not a problem. I mean, can't be a robot about everything. I mean, some people that do that,
Yeah.
hey, so be it. But like, not the end of the world.
Hmm.
I mean, everyone has their priorities. I mean, put your time and effort into something else. But yeah, following up to that, does the Rutgers facility like take care of you guys in terms of nutrition stuff like that?
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. We got one of the best, if not the best, in the country, hands down, in my opinion. We got a great staff out there, nutritionists, and they're always keeping us on tip top shape, whether that be through food, protein, nutrition, all kinds of resources for us to be able to perform at the highest level possible. So, props to them, and
Mm.
I think, if not the best, like I said, the best in the nation with our nutrition staff.
Stay,
Shout out goes to them.
staying on the path of like the Rutgers facilities and stuff like that. Unfortunately, we see like your wrist. You have I think an injury there, right? How
Yeah.
Yeah. How any what are some tips you would say to give anyone that's maybe going through an injury like yourself and like anything to stay like sane and like build up to back to full strength?
Um, to me, that's all mental toughness, man. That's all mental toughness, and it's like it's a point where in life I'm like very religious, so I might go into God and faith a lot. So if I do kind of sway off, I apologize. But for
Gotcha.
me, like it's more of a mental thing, man. You got to really be locked in, like, and realize, everything happens for a reason, and God's testing you now, and it's all about how you're gonna respond. So I've dealt with injuries before, and it's tough. You feel like you're secluded and you get alone, but you know, and then you start isolating yourself from the world. But the devil loves isolation, and in order for you to just really like get out of that, I would say just lock in, man, and like mentally, you got to really become mentally stronger. You got to grow your faith, be able to just battle through adversity, and I feel like that's one of the better things that athletes do is like because we handle adversity, whether that be through injuries, through wins, losses. There's adversity everywhere, and when you're injured, it's just a matter of how am I going to deal with this? What am I going to do to become the best
Mm.
person I can be? And because you can't worry about the long run, you really got to focus on the process right now and all of the steps you got to take. So just
Right.
being able to mentally defy all those odds and tell yourself and be able to speak to yourself, I feel like that's really what I would tell anybody who's going through an injury right now. It's all mental. It's all mental. What you're telling yourself, like that law of attraction, it'll come back to you. Like a lot of people. And I was actually talking to one of my teammates about this today, because they'll give you a timetable on when you'll come back, 6 to 8 weeks, whatever. But usually, as an athlete, we kind of come back a little quicker than that because you have that eager and that drive and that hunger, how we talked about earlier, that you
Right.
just want to get back to other sports so much that you're willing to put in that extra effort. And now you're in the training room 2, 3 times just so you can get better. And it's just a mental thing. And so once you are able to overcome that and realize, that God has a plan for you at the end, and trust that process, it'll kind of get easier.
Absolutely. I feel like a lot of stuff in life is all in your head about how you approach certain situations, right? And that goes with injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gave a perfect example about say, hey, 6 to 8 weeks, you're gonna be on the sideline. Hey, if I'm doing every single thing I'm possible to get back on the field as fast as possible, who knows? It could be less than that. It could be half of that. Whatever. But really the drive I think that you mentioned is something I think could put you like aside from like maybe the crowd of the normal people, and that can really probably go for most athletes I think, and at the college level, because once you get to somewhere that's past high school where you're like some sort of pro, like an amateur sort of level, you realize like
Right,
what's good and like what's not. Like you're learning over time. You got experience too.
right. You got to go through trial and error and experience
Yeah.
what's working, what's not working, and all those sorts of things. So, like I said, it's just a matter of just mentally define all those thoughts in your head. Just get them out and just keep going. Don't stop. Just know, whenever you feel like giving up, remember what got you here in the first place.
Mm. On a lighter side now, we have a couple of like side things that we just like to ask everybody. Well, not I guess kind of related to yourself as well. Being from Jersey, a
Yep.
Jersey kid, growing up, was Rutgers always number one for you, or was there ever a doubt like other schools, something like that?
Nah, actually, it's crazy. Like, I even go back to one of my messages with my boys back in 2016, and it was like, "Yo, Ronnie, where you trying to go to college?" And I would tell them like, "I really want to go to Rutgers." So this is a dream come true for me. I spoke it into existence, and now I'm here.
Hey,
So,
that's pretty cool. I know.
God, his ways.
I know. Coach Shiano is trying to like keep every Jersey kid in Jersey. I know that's a big thing that he's trying to push, right?
Most definitely. 'Cause we got talent in Jersey, man. We
Yeah.
gotta keep it home. We gotta stay home.
Absolutely. I remember just from my like, I went to Manalapan High School in Central Jersey, and there was like a bunch of kids that went Division 1. Unfortunately, no one went to Rutgers, but there was like 6 or 7 of them that went on to play like in college, which from one high school in one class, that was ridiculous
Yeah, that's pretty good.
in terms of like New Jersey talent. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing, but we got a lot of we got some good football players in Jersey, man. We just gotta keep
Absolutely.
everybody got to stay home, and then like I said, Coach, like you say, he trying to keep everybody in Jersey. He got something great going on here. Rutgers is gonna be something special. Really, really, really soon.
Mm. On another aspect here, what I want to get your preference now. Pre-game in the gym, who's on your playlist? Who you listen to? What gets you going?
Oh man, that's probably not even the answer I like thinking or looking for. I'm a big R&B guy, so like I listen to smooth R&B. Like I listen to R&B like 3-4 hours before the game. I'll just be calm, smooth, collective. I'll be listening to R&B. I got a bunch of artists I listen to, from the Summer Walkers to the Ushers. Like I'll swing it all the way back. Like I really love R&B. But like like a little like 20 to 30 minutes before the game, then you'll hear me listen to some Meek Mill. I'm a big Meek guy, so I gotta listen to songs before I get on there. But prior to like 20 to 30 minutes before kickoff, I'm listening to R&B, man. Just keep me nice, calm, collected. Don't get me really going, riled up.
I feel like that's such a common answer. Like, surprisingly, like you wouldn't think like college football players listen to like chill music like before big moments, right? But I feel like a couple, like not just like a couple people, a bunch of people we asked this question to. Yeah, I think it's like sort of like maybe a maturity thing, sort of. Because I know in high school, that's in the locker room, everything is upbeat, fast paced, rap music, right? But in college, I feel like a lot of guys I've talked to, and girls too, like very chill, like mellow tone, like very just in the zone. And I feel like it's definitely a change,
It's just you gotta lock in, be able to just control yourself and just be still, and just really just kind of get in that mode. You don't really gotta always listen to that upbeat, that hip hop and stuff like that. In high school, that's probably all I did listen to. But once you, like you said, it's probably a maturity thing. So once I grew up a little bit, I'm starting to realize, you don't really got to get upbeat and tight from so early. Like you just gotta slowly bring yourself together. It's a build-up. It's a build-up.
I got you. Yeah.
Motion and all of that stuff.
All right, we got a couple more. You get to go to dinner with two people. Who are you going with? Where are you going? What are you ordering?
I get to go to dinner with two people. First one's Kobe.
Okay.
Rest in peace, Kobe, man. Kobe's one of my biggest inspirations, role models. Like growing, I see him back there too. Growing up, I always, followed Kobe's mindset, the Mamba mentality, being able to just grind and work, and I pride myself on working hard. That's one thing about me is like I'm a work hard. I'm a workaholic, and that's one thing I might not, like I said, might not be the fastest, strongest, tallest, whatever, but just know I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna outwork everybody in front of me, and that's what I feel like, makes or allows me to surpass a lot of people, and that's why that's the first person I want to have dinner with, Kobe, and then the second person I would love to sit and have dinner with, man. I gotta say Kanye.
Okay.
Kanye West.
Best of both worlds. Yeah, I can definitely see why. Despite like maybe some out of pocket things he does, I mean, genius in terms of marketing. I think, like
Kanye is one of the smart individuals out there too, man. Like put all of that stuff that the media try to portray as him out. Like put that to the side real quick and realize how much of a genius Kanye really is, lyrically, business-wise, fashion-wise. It's just
the influence he has is ridiculous.
Yeah, one of the biggest cultural influences of our generation, hands down.
Man,
so those definitely the top people I want to go to dinner.
So where are you going to eat?
Where are we going to eat, man? Let's go to a nice little steakhouse. Go to like Ruth Chris or something, man. Or Ruth Chris up in the city.
Okay.
Yeah,
solid. City. And you guys getting steak? You got a favorite type?
Yeah, got nice filet mignon.
Hey, there you go.
That's it.
You think that fits in their diet?
I mean, I don't see why not. Most definitely, it's just a steak. I mean, you don't gotta get a steak. Me personally, like I said, I really cut out red meat, so I might just get a little salmon, something like that, grilled salmon or some lamb chops.
You know, when you were saying salmon before, I was just thinking to myself, like, seafood is like my favorite too. Like crab legs, that's my go-to.
Yeah, come on. Love me some crab legs, man. Some seafood boil.
Shrimp.
Can't go wrong with that.
I just earlier, like a little bit before, I made some grilled chicken and shrimp in like my skillet downstairs, like
Bruh,
seasoning.
yeah, man, I love to cook too. That's one of my favorite things to do. Besides, like, all of the other stuff. Like, one of my favorite hobbies is to cook.
Really?
Love cooking.
Hmm. What
Yeah.
what what are you making if I come over? What are you making for us?
Oh man, I stuff it up, man. I make some pasta, some chicken on the side, maybe some vegetables. I'm a chef, so it's not really. It's just whatever comes to my mind, I just make it. Can't really sit here and give you a course like that.
Past football, what are some goals you might have for yourself
Some goals I have for myself beyond football:
beyond football?
impact the world. I feel like football is what I do. It's not who I am. Um, I feel like my purpose in life is to impact other people, and I'm not trying to. I'm going to use football as my platform to help me impact other people's lives, whether that be in this country or back in my country in Sudan. Being able to help other people, people who don't really have the resources to, become successful, quote unquote, or
Mm.
make it out, quote unquote. But I feel like that's really my purpose in life is to help other people, and that's one of my biggest goals is to just become a philanthropist, be able to give back, and just see other people succeed. Like I get happiness and joy when I see other people succeed as well, because that's what God put us on this earth to do, to help each other.
Hmm. One of the biggest things I think, like something I like can't really stand seeing is when people get like, like you said, upset when people get upset that others are doing well. Like everyone
Mhm.
can win. I feel like it doesn't have to be a one-sided thing ever and at all,
Right, right.
right? And I think that's such a big issue where people like see someone like doing something well that they want to do and they like envy them for whatever reason. And I think that's something that really has
Yeah,
to stop and like that's definitely a bad part of culture that we're a part of.
nah, most definitely. People fail to realize like whatever aspect that person is successful in, to each of their own. Everybody's successful in their own different ways. Like that person might be successful in wealth and finances, where versus you might be successful in mind and mentality and drive and will. So everybody has their own different kind of mantras and own different elements and aspects to their lives that they're successful in that nobody else has. Like success isn't defined by what we put it as. Success is being able to do what you've done to the best of your ability and leave no doubt behind it, and be able to say I've done everything I can to be the best I could possibly be. And that doesn't matter what aspect it is, like whether that's athletically, financially, business wise, family wise. Everybody's success is different from one another. That's why I don't really like comparing, anybody else's journey to somebody else's, because
Right.
people, I feel like that's one of the biggest issues in our generation now. A lot of people are comparing themselves and comparing their lives to other people's lives. You got to realize everybody's journey is different. My journey isn't going to be the same as your journey. The same way your journey isn't going to be the same as mine.
Right.
We're each going to have us in our own different ways. We're each going to excel differently. But I want to see you win the same way I want to see everybody else win. The same way I want to see my brothers win, and I want to see them succeed in their ways and how they want to succeed, whatever goals and priorities they got.
Right. And something that really stuck with me is a quote I saw. It's like you can't compare like, for example, my step 1 to your step 20. Right. It's completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's got their own way. Everyone has their own goals, and it's just inaccurate to like compare someone's step 1 to maybe someone else's step 1. Everyone could start on different stools. And I think that's definitely, a way to look at it, where you can't compare yourself to other people regardless of what situation, what your goals are, and where you want to get to, you know?
Most definitely. Most definitely. Everybody has their own journey, and God already, this already written. You just gotta follow God's plan.
What would you say to someone that's stuck, that's like doesn't know what they want to do, and they're really trying to find maybe a high school kid that's thinking about like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. What do you say to someone like that?
At one point, I was that one kid. I was that kid that was stuck. So the advice I would give him is to just follow your dream, follow your heart, and be able to do what you want to do at the end of the day. Like, try, like, take risks, take a chance, because you only live life once, and you're only gonna be 18 years old once. You're only gonna be 17 once. So take that risk, take that chance, because at the end of the day, it's no going back. So if you got something that you're stuck in between, or you feel like you're debating and don't know what to do, then just do it. Because at the end of the day, life is all about experiences. And if you don't go through experiences, you're not gonna learn. And being able to learn and you learn best from experiences and actually being able to go through things first by yourself. Like, yeah, I've had parents and I got older role models that tell me, but sometimes, being able to experience something is different than hearing it. So if you stuck, man, just keep going. Don't stop now. You're young. You got a whole life ahead of you. A lot of people think like, oh man, I'm 18, I'm 17. What am I gonna do? Man, you got a whole life ahead of you. Life is just getting started. I'm young too. Sometimes I feel stuck, but I know life ain't even start for me yet. Like, I'm still young, so just keep
Right.
going, take chances.
You mentioned before trial and error and like how everything is like, what works, what doesn't work. And I feel that can be like anything in terms of athletics, life, and you're trying to find a business that really like clicks and like you can get the ball rolling, like in terms of maybe like revenue or something like that.
Right.
Trial and error is such a big thing, and you're never going to learn anything without experience. And experience really, I think, is the greatest way to learn. Whenever you do something and fail, you never really fail. You just learn what doesn't work. I feel like that's a big thing too. Another message a lot of people can take.
That's why I always say I'm never losing. It's either I'm winning or I'm learning. So I'm either winning or I'm learning. I feel like I never lose in life. It's always we always learning. And we don't take no L's. We always want to learn and elevate our game and be able to, what am I able to take away from this? How can what can I do to improve on? All right, man, maybe what I just didn't work out. That's not a problem. Maybe I just got to readjust and try a different way.
Last but not least, who would you say some of your biggest role models are aside from your family?
Biggest role models aside from my family. That's hard, man. I'm such a family-oriented person.
Who maybe in the sports world has influenced you the most to try to get to where you want to be?
Kobe. Kobe, hands down, Kobe. Kobe, no doubt about it.
I know we hit on him a little bit earlier about like what he stands for and stuff like that. But what do you think is the biggest thing you can take from Kobe's whole lifestyle and the way he like put himself out there?
Kobe, like a lot of people think like Kobe like just popped out and was like an all-star, Hall of Famer. Nah, Kobe had to work his way. Kobe was from, was born in Philly, but grew up in Italy, life. So it was different. Life was different. Really had to adjust to, practicing and like how like, resources aren't the same in different countries how they are in America.
Right.
So being able to like adjust and like I feel like me and Kobe is kind of similar. I grew up in a third world country too, up in Sudan. So my resources aren't the same. I knew coming here I had to really work like in order for me to even reach the level of these people. Like I know I had to work to where I get to because a lot of athletes and players have already started since they was 3-4 years old. Man, I just started playing football when I was in 8th grade.
That's the thing. I think that's one of the craziest things about like maybe yourself, that you just picked up on something so quick and you found something that clicked. I mean, obviously you mentioned how soccer was a big thing like before football for you, but just to pick up on a completely different sport and that such like in that time period. And I think we mentioned before this podcast how like sophomore year of school, I guess a Division I school hit you up like probably what's that, like 2 years after starting playing football or 3? I think that's just like just a standpoint of like your type of dedication and like your type of hard work that you put in to what you got out of it. So commend yourself for that.
Most definitely. When you're passionate about something, it's not even like you think twice about it. So I don't know. I just fell in love with the game and I fell in love with football and I was so passionate about it. I was willing to do whatever it took for me to be able to reach some of these players and maybe even surpass them. And that's why I say you just keep going now. You just keep going now and just keep putting in that work and punching that clock and putting those hours and just like Kobe said, like eventually you'll surpass them. So by the time you get to that level, like they'll fall down to complacency because they'll take their foot off the gas a little bit, and that's when you pass them. And one of my favorite coaches, like ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. That's why you just keep going, keep striving, and just never give up.
I think another thing that was really interesting that Kobe said, he mentioned maybe briefly in something that I just overheard. He was just like, if I go every day for, he just went out through his schedule. Like I think, like he woke up. I think it was like 4 o'clock or something. Like he works out this
Yeah,
period, this period, this period. Say that's like 4 or 5 times a day, and you're just doing once at noon every day. Over time, you can't get back those hours. Like the other person can't get back the hours that you put in, right? So it just
it's
compounds
equity. It's
over
built up
time.
equity. Right, built up equity. That's what it is. Once you start building it up, it's equity now. It's in the bank, just like poker. I'm all in. I'm just gonna push all my chips in, and I'm like, I'll have all these chips I'm already piled up. It's built up equity.
Man, it's been great talking to you. I think we got a lot of out of this, especially towards the end here, where we're just going off the top of my head really with questions that I think would fit. But yeah, you got anything else you want to add in here?
Nah, I really really enjoyed doing this. It was great being able to speak and talk. And I thank you for getting me on here with you. And can't wait to see this platform grow even more.
Of course, man. Athletic Minds, Athlete POV podcasts. We're here to stay, man. A couple athletes every week on, spreading, inspiration and positivity to our audience every week. Don't plan on stopping. Along with myself
Yes,
as
sir.
well, I try.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all, man.
All right, man. Have a great rest of your day. It's been great talking to you. Keep in touch.
Of course, bro. Appreciate you. I appreciate this a lot.
All right. See you. Bye.
All right, brother.